Okay, so let's talk about the emotional range that happens in the grief process between denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. You've watched me go through three of those stages. Today, specifically, I want to talk about the thing that causes us to keep our emotions churning in the grief process, and that is our resistance to feeling the gut punch of depression because we've been taught that it's not a Christian thing to feel, or it's not a good thing to feel, or it feels powerless, or it feels hopeless, and people want to medicate it away, or we're afraid we're going to get into such a funk we can't function. Emotions are nothing more than energy in motion. Think of it like weather. When your emotions come up, you don't need to intervene. You don't need to redirect. You don't need to make it go away. You simply need to observe and allow. Observe and allow that emotion to go through your body like a wave and then release it. Walk in the woods or a real good workout. A punching bag is always handy. Energy in motion, left unattended, will work its way through and out to a healing phase. When it gets stuck, it's because we refuse to let go of the anger that makes us feel like we have some power in circumstances we don't. Or we won't let go of the denial, or we won't let go of the bargaining because we think I have to try everything and maybe this next thing. So 3 years later, we're still stuck in bargaining and we have never done the basic work of healing, which is to face the facts, feel the feelings, and then, and only then, can we focus on the solution. If we don't allow that energy to move through and we get stuck in our feelings at any point along the way, then we cannot get to that focus on the solution place, because to us, the solution is to stop the pain. And we're still busy trying to deal with the pain of anger or the pain of loss or the pain of denial or the pain of depression. And anger, when it is a rage response, is a trauma response. And I know that we are all feeling 100 stages of all of those on any given day, and that's okay. Forget the timeline, forget whatever the rules are, forget imagining that you're only going to visit bargaining once and you'll never go back to that. You're just going to move through depression. It's going to be okay. Forget thinking your depression is going to be over in 3 days, because after all, you have to go to work. And start allowing and noticing that energy. And in that day, in that moment, in that thought feeling, asking yourself, what do I need to do right now to take care of myself? Because if you don't take care of yourself first, what we've learned is nobody else is going to. This is your job, and it's an inside job. So depression is not a boogeyman. It is a stage of healing. And if you find yourself in chronic depression, I used to say, wow, for somebody with situational depression, I've sure had a lot of it. Then I had to face some facts that what I had was chronic depression from probably generational trauma that really had nothing to do with me either, but it was being carried in my body and in my systems. And part of the work we're doing now is allowing that to move through us so it can come out, up and out. If you think about when you feel nauseous, I'm a person who will do anything to keep from throwing up. Anything. I hate it so badly. And yet, when my body takes over and I have no choice and I have to surrender, season of surrender, to that bile, then I always feel better as soon as I do. That's how this grieving process is. You're going to feel better when you get through the stages and you get to the place of focusing on the solution. But we, as an element of trying to avoid the bad feelings of depression or anger or bargaining or hopelessness, we try to move to the solution and take control of that. A little bit of control freak, a little bit of trauma response. The reality is, When you've gone through all of your feelings, face the facts, feel the feelings, focus on the solution becomes much more clear for you, for your loved ones, for the people you come in contact with. We keep our mental health secret because it carries stigma and shame in our society. And when we stop doing that and we feel it and we speak it out, it takes the shame away. We weren't wounded in isolation. We were wounded in community. And when we heal, we can't heal in isolation. We heal in community. Pick 3 people who are your people. I don't care if they're long distance or relatives or social media. 3, just 3. Start there to tell the truth about yourself, unvarnished, unprotected, no impression management, just intimacy. Into you I see. Let me see you. Let you see me. There's a real human condition here that we can all identify with, no matter how we voted, who we married, what our lifestyle is. Human beings basically want all the same thing: someone to love, something to do, and something to hope for. And in the throes of the grief cycle, hope is the thing that is at low tide. In the healing, hope comes back up. You have to wait for hope rising. You can't manufacture it. You can't pretend. You can't act as if your way to mental health. You have to actually feel the feelings, face the facts of whatever your life is, and then focus on, given who I am, what my circumstances are, where I live, what my experience is, what can I do today for self-care? Because if I help you, it helps me. But if I help you and it costs me, that's not self-care, that's codependency. Just some food for thought today. As you can see, I'm moving through the cycles pretty well. Every time there's a new hit, I go through another little grief cycle of it. But I am absolutely feeling the feelings, unapologetically feeling all the feelings. And it is the safest, sanest thing I probably have ever done. I hate that you have to hit a bottom before you can climb back out of the barrel. But I've worked with highly functioning addicts and alcoholics long enough to know that the worst thing we can do is the way we try to avoid hitting the bottom of the barrel by scratching our way back up with bootstraps and willpower and self-determination. The best thing we can do is hit bottom, see where we are, feel all the dark feelings, and then look up, because there is always a path. There is always a window of opportunity for you with an exit strategy. And every exit strategy is going to be different and unique. You do you, I'll do me. I hope to meet you in the middle one day.